Well, that sucked, but there were some good moments. There were some bad moments. We got to talk about all of it. It's time for the Boy Green postgame show to recap week one Jets 49ers. Let's roll if you guys are still awake.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Paul Ashton Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Every.com. It is 1 a.m., September 10th, as we recap the Jets 49ers Week 1 season opener. The first game's in the books, and, well, the Jets got pistol whipped. They absolutely did. Not ideal by any means. We will recap that game. Also, the pinned comment on YouTube, youtube.com/boygreen25 is the call-in line if you'd like to jump on today's show, if you're still awake, for those people out there. A couple of takes right off the top. You know, you get that gift right before the game starts. Christian McCaffrey, surprisingly out. You're like, oh, wow, okay, the Jets are really getting the benefit here. Random name guy, let me make sure I get his name right, Jordan Mason. Oh, okay, he's going to be running it. All right, elite Jets defense should be able to bottle him up. Then they become a one-dimensional offense, and in theory, your pass rushers should be able to pin their ears back and go to town. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The Jets defense got run all over. They got punched in the face and couldn't respond. They allowed 180 rushing yards, 4.7 per clip, and most of that damage done by Jordan Mason, who had 28 carries for a career high, 147 yards rushing, 5.3 per clip. Here's a stat, by the way. I wrote an article after the game. You guys can check that out in the YouTube description down below. And when you look at those numbers I just said, those are pretty stark. But then you add in this from Rich Cimini, 94 of Jordan Mason's 147 yards rushing came before contact. In other words, the Jets defense didn't get any hands on them, or in particular, Mason, to start the game. Or not to start the game, throughout the game. 90% of his rushing yards, the 49ers were just paving the way, paving the roads open for that rushing. And that one was a tough pill to swallow. A non-existent pass rush from the New York Jets. Hassan Reddick and his agent must be doing some sort of a dance somewhere. The Jets did end up with 3 sacks technically on the stat sheet as I see it, but they were some garbage situations that those entailed. Only 4 quarterback hits in this game. So no pass rush for the Jets consistently. That was certainly concerning. The run defense was certainly concerning. There's no doubt about that. And those are 2 things that jump off the page, for sure. But there's certainly some positives. Man, that Aaron Rodgers guy, he still got it, huh? Mm-hmm. He sure has it. Garrett Wilson, that third drive of the game? I mean, picturesque. 7-minute drive. Garrett Wilson, and I could almost hear, because they were almost mic'd up a little bit. I heard Aaron Rodgers kept calling the audible, Terrence. And Garrett Wilson's like, yeah, Terrence. We've worked on that in practice. Catch. Every once in a while they call a run play, and then again, he puts his hands on his ears. Terrence. And that ended up working out pretty good. Garrett Wilson looked good. When you saw Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers together, he had 6 catches for 60 yards, some of that in garbage time at the end. He had 11 targets in this game, but they just got away from it. They just got away from just the gimme. And again, there were gimmies where you just hike the ball, whoop, throw it out, Garrett Wilson. Those beautiful third down conversions, like 3 in a row, bang, bang, bang. So Aaron Rodgers made it out healthy. So let's give that, I'll jump over to the phone lines here in a second. Aaron Rodgers made it out of the game healthy. Blessed be he. And don't overlook that, people. That is terrific. He got hit, and he got back up, and he was fine. So Aaron Rodgers healthy, and to me, Aaron Rodgers still having it. The go-go ball, the Allen Lazard, vintage Aaron Rodgers baiting the defense offsides, whoop, throw it up. There's no risk. If it got intercepted, there's no risk. The play doesn't count. They get a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers had some wow throws in this game. Some wow throws. I thought the pass protection was pretty great all night, to be honest with you. The offensive line did a wonderful job protecting him. 49ers defense, let's see what they finished up with. They had 1 sack in the game. Just 1. And that was that Leonard Floyd sack on basically the broken play immediately, like on a 3rd down play. 1 sack the entire night. That's pretty damn good against this defense. Again, a lot of people are upset with the loss, and you should be. Yeah, the Jets lost. I'm not trying to paint you any other way, but there's positives and negatives for every game. Aaron Rodgers came out healthy. Garrett Wilson looked pretty good. That pass protection, which is the key to our season, quite frankly, that looked pretty good. And we'll see. And as Shane says, and everyone else that's in here, there are 3 games in 10 days. We just completed one of them. We got 2 more. The Tennessee Titans on a short week, and then the game I'll be at, the home game, the home opener against the New England Patriots. We'll get to all that. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Let's get to our own audible here on the show. Terrence, hours before his flight to Cabo. What's going on, Terrence?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Again, during the game, it was exciting to see, like, it was hitting me. Like, I'm like, holy, and I recorded a few videos on Twitter and sent them out. I'm like, oh my God, we have Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's our guy. Like, I'm seeing it. It's real. I'm hearing Joe Buck talk about it. I'm hearing Troy Aikman talk about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is Aaron Rodgers. This is a Hall of Famer playing quarterback for it. So some of those moments were pretty great. No question about it. But again, getting pistol whipped by the 49ers rushing attack, that was a bitter pill to swallow. They punched us in the face, kicked our ass, used whatever phraseology you want to. There was a lot of physicality there that I thought we were ready for heading into the game that apparently we weren't.
Yeah. What I can say is this. What you said in the beginning was 100% that we had Aaron Rodgers back. I know a whole bunch of Jet fans will agree with me when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather watch this game than any other game in the last 5 seasons.
You know damn straight, yeah, no question, not even close. Of course, yes.
For the length of time that we was waiting to see this man on the field, and what they did on the field was great, and they did it against a Super Bowl team. So I can't complain about the ending of the game. But I'm a coach. I'm gonna play to win,
sure,
right? Until we can't win.
Yeah, right.
And then we move on to the next game. But I was almost on board if no drop and no fumble. I think Gary would have had 10 catches.
I think you're right. Obviously, easy. Allen Lazard drops an easy 3rd down conversion that just kills the drives over. And then Breece Hall, hey, massive tip of the cap to Fred Warner. That was an awesome punch out. That reminded me of Charles Peanut Tillman. With his ability to punch out the football. So, I mean, that was a great ball, and that was only Breece Hall's 2nd lost fumble of his entire career. So he's a guy that does not fumble often, but it was a great rip, and then obviously the 49ers immediately cash in. So that flips the momentum early, no question.
Right, and I think that also, obviously, I was hyped up. If I was 100% when the game started, that Lazard drop put me to 70%.
And that just sucked. Man.
Yeah, and then the Breece Hall fumble put me to like 55%. And when they scored the touchdown, I got a lot better.
Sure,
but the momentum killer was those 2 plays, and then you can't do that against a Super Bowl team at all.
No. And then Rodgers had his first pick as a Jet, but obviously it was a deflected ball. So, the friggin' 49ers get a field goal that doinks in. I'm like, how does that go in? At that point, you just say, okay, so this is the kind of night it is. Just, the things that could go wrong are going wrong. The things that could go right for the 49ers are going right. So they had a lot of things. They were a really good team, obviously. They've been in the NFC Championship game 4 out of the last 5 years, Super Bowl twice. So they're a really talented team, obviously. But when you get that paired with the breaks, you're like, damn, okay. That was tough.
Well, 11 more teams will lose to the 49ers this year, and most of them will lose worse than we did. So I'm not worried about it. But what I am worried about is this. Because when I was watching the game, right, I seen Sauce tackling with his shoulders. And in my mind, I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
You know? And then he was out a few plays.
He was.
And Salah's coming out saying he needed to catch his breath.
Yes. Yep.
I think they benched him.
Interesting.
I said, yo, you don't want to tackle? Sit over here and think about it for a bit. See how he came back in the game and how he was playing after that.
Yeah, because if you guys missed the television broadcast, so Sauce randomly goes out of the game. We're all kind of like, it looked like maybe he reached for his shoulder, like maybe there's an injury. Lisa Salters, the ESPN sideline reporter, checks with the Jets, and they're like, nah, there's no injury here. There's no medical thing going on here. He has his helmet. And it was kind of like, oh, okay, then why the hell isn't he in the game? And then eventually he gets back in. So, yeah, it would make sense with that explanation that maybe that was what happened. Salah seemed to dismiss it outside of that. They was just catching his breath. But, yeah, there could be something to that because that was on the trick play. That was the Debo running all over that was the play that Sauce allegedly hurt his shoulder or whatever happened. That was on that crazy play where Debo was diving back and forth. That was the play that Sauce went down on.
And then if you could remember back in the practice era, couple weeks ago, when offensive linemen would get a false start, what would happen to them?
Oh yeah, yank immediately.
So I think that's what happened.
Interesting.
Of course, Salah's not going to come out and tell everybody.
Well, no, I mean that would look really bad for one of his best players, or
exactly
whatever the PR is to it. Yes,
almost like when Jordan got suspended.
Oh, right.
But he retired.
Yeah,
you know
right.
You know, you can't go out and tell the world that you're going to suspend your number one prize.
Sure.
Possession.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then and all you Jet fans that are probably a little upset, think of it like this.
Okay.
Any quarterback in the last 5 seasons that we had other than Rodgers would have totaled 3 points tonight. Every single one.
Say it one more time.
Every single quarterback we had in the last 5 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Would have totaled 3 points tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So don't be upset. You know, we played the best team in the NFL, one of the best, and we held our own. We just came out a little tense, you know. And I think next week, the way they play, we're gonna see if it's how they are as a team, or it was just because they played that great team that was in the Super Bowl last year.
Yes. I think that's a good temperature check to say. The Jets obviously have a short week. They're back on the road. They'll be going to Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans, and let's see how they suit up. If they immediately respond with an emphatic victory over a team they're clearly better than, like, okay, what were we talking about? It was the 49ers. Anyone could have lost to the 49ers. If they lay an egg, all of a sudden then we're like, whoa, what's going on here? I think that's a proper temperature check. That's
right.
Fair.
So now what I would say, what I would put on top of the door when you walk in is we're going to see this team again this year.
Well, that was Rodgers' message. Yeah, his final. So Salah's. I'll play the clip here. It's very quick. I'll play the Salah clip. So I grabbed one Salah clip after the game. He was asked about basically, excuse my Guatemalan, but the shitty run defense and what they gave up here. So here is this. This is Salah first. We'll go to Salah here. He was asked again about the crappy run defense. You'll sort of hear the question, but it's really hard to hear. So you'll get to hear Salah's answer here.
Yeah, it's anytime you get run on like that. And credit to them, like I said, it's a championship outfit, and they introduced us to some championship football, and we'll get that shit fixed.
That is Salah, who said the 49ers introduced us to some championship football, and he said, quote, we'll get that shit fixed. Very aggressive. Rodgers at the end of his presser was asked about those comments from Salah about playing a championship contender, and Rodgers said, I agree. They are a championship team, and hopefully we see him in that championship. And like, oh, okay. That maybe we will get that rematch you're talking about, Terrence.
Yeah, this is a far cry from, hey, Zach, you think it's your fault today? No.
Right.
Far cry from that.
It's a different world.
Oh, my God. Different dimension.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So guys, keep your heads up. It's okay. We went in there rah-rah, ready to win,
Yeah.
and we didn't win. But guess what? 16 more games to go.
Damn straight.
Yes.
Long
so I don't
season.
know. I don't know how many people you got on or you got next or
no,
until about 3:30.
That's a good point. So right now, I see we have like a caller that kind of keeps calling and checking around and then leaving, checking and leaving. So I don't know if that person's going to come on. I don't recognize the individual. He's a new person. But no. So yeah, feel free to continue to join me here as we talk about the game. The other thing I would say is this, and I said it on Twitter immediately after that, like this sucks. Obviously, what transpired tonight overall sucked. That was unfortunate, but if you were going to lose, and Greeny said this when he joined me a couple days ago or last week, whenever it was, when he joined me, he said, if you look at the 3 games for the Jets in 10 days, well, if you were going to lose any of them, again, everyone wants to go undefeated, so hopefully you don't lose any of them. But if you were going to lose one, the one against the 49ers, who are an NFC opponent in their building, if it was going to be where it, like, again, we'd prefer the win, but if you couldn't have the win, it had to be a loss against someone in the next 3, including the 49ers. You pick the 49ers because it does not affect your playoff seeding. It doesn't affect your conference tiebreakers. It affects nothing. Like, a loss is not good. So that's what I would say about that. And they're obviously phenomenal. I mean, let's give it to them. The 49ers are a freaking terrific football team. And I'm sure it's a little deflating that they didn't have Christian McCaffrey and we still got run all over the way they did. I'm sure that's a little deflating for sure. But again, I think there was a lot of morsels here where I'm like, oh boy. Again, Aaron Rodgers looked pretty elite to me, making elite throws, moving around the pocket. All of that to me was checking as well. Why don't we do this? I'll actually bring this third person on. Plan it for us. Let's bring you on the show, my man, a fellow Jets compatriot here. How are you?
I just want to say this, my friend.
Yeah, sure.
That I was there tonight.
Oh.
I'm in San Francisco right now in a hotel.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. How was the game? Yeah, you tell me. Yeah.
And I want you to know this, right? These people that are representing the Jets as players, right? They didn't show up tonight.
No.
Okay. At the end of the day, it's only one game, and we got 16 more to go. And I'm a season ticket holder. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
But I made it all the way out here.
Damn.
To see them at least participate in a football game, bro.
Yes, right. And what about
Rodgers? You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. What about seeing Rodgers live? He looked like he had some pretty good moments.
Well, I'll say this, right? What I'm going to say is that at the end of the day, they failed us as fans.
I think
I really believe that the reason they weren't ready for the game because none of them played in the offseason. They didn't get not one snap. They weren't ready for the 49ers tonight.
That could be. That makes sense. I've heard other people make that argument.
Well, that's absolutely right. Rodgers never got hit. They never got a real pass rush. The line didn't. Even Breece Hall, he didn't. He was ready to make moves, but Warner dominated the game on defense.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, he was terrific. Hey,
I don't want to bash the Jets because I love the Jets.
Of course. Yeah.
I love what you do, Boy Green. I salute you. I
appreciate that.
I follow you from day one. This is my first time. This is my first time on the screen with you.
I appreciate that, man.
But I want you to know something, man. I'm a diehard Jet fan, bro.
You're in San Francisco, season ticket holder. I mean, your resume speaks for itself. But yeah, tell me. Yeah.
And on next Thursday, I'm gonna make it my business to be in your face.
Oh, great. Okay, that'll be awesome. I will be there. Yes.
But I'm just saying, tonight wasn't really something. Salah needs to get this group together and let them know that this is not acceptable gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to bash the Jets. I just want to just let everybody know that's watching you right now that because I was in the stands and I was beefing with the 49er fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx.
Baby.
I'm a New Yorker. You understand? And I ain't ashamed to say nothing but the truth.
Mm.
All right? But I want you to know something, Boy Green, you're doing a hell of a job. And in your father, I watch your father when he's on with you and all of that, bro. And you're great, man. And I want you to know the Jets need to do as good a job as you do.
I appreciate that. Well, feel free to call back anytime. I'm glad that you made the trip, and I can't wait to meet you. Jets Patriots, baby. We'll do it.
That's right. I'll be there.
Okay.
And good night, man. And listen, it's only one game. It's only one game.
Yeah.
So we got.
That's
all
it.
right.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would say this, and Terrence, I'd love your feedback on this. There was, and I could see it, and I could kind of hear it a little bit from our caller there, that Saleh in the post-game presser, there was a level of, I'm not sure if complacency is the right word I'm looking for, but there's a little bit of like, well, it was the first game of the season. It was Aaron Rodgers' first game back. It seemed like there was a lot of excuses. Again, maybe that's still not the right word, but there's a lot of like, well, the 49ers are great. I know there's no Christian McCaffrey, but they got all these other guys. Like, there was kind of a lack of an accountability of like Saleh in his presser, if you guys go watch it, there's just like a lot of, we're going to figure out the run defense, not worried about it, not worried about the offense, not worried about the defense. There's a lot of, hey, we played the 49ers, we played them on the road, you know. There was just a lot of reasons for it, and I think that could, for a fan like NY, you know, that just joined us, who is a season ticket holder, who traveled all the way out there, was looking for his Jets to represent in a positive way and did not to his liking. I can understand why perhaps some of those answers from Saleh, and I'm not sure if he heard Saleh because he was over there, so maybe he didn't get to listen to the content. But I can understand why that rubs a few people the wrong way.
Right. Well, he's right about it being the first game. I mean, when I had my season tickets, the 1998 season was one of those seasons.
Sure.
And they started 0-2, you know, and they turned it around and went to where they went to. So it's super early, you know. But with what goes on, like I said, you know, excuses, that's great, all of that stuff. But the bottom line is this: we played a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. And they might make it again. And like I said, they're gonna win 11, 12 games. So other teams are gonna lose to them. The same way we lost to them, maybe worse. You know, but as long as we stay focused and understand what we got to do for ourselves, we will meet this team in the Super Bowl and beat them when it counts.
I love that. By the way, I forgot to mention this yesterday. I put that in quotes because technically it's tomorrow. That's very confusing. Today, tomorrow, yesterday. Anywho, long story short, yesterday's show of Boy Green Dailies and all that technically was my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. I've been doing podcasts for like 15 years or so, but specifically for this video version of the show, it is 4 years old yesterday. So shout out to all the supporters. Again, we have people that called in just a second ago that said, Paul, I've been watching it from day one, but I just kind of support from afar. I don't hop on screen or anything, which, by the way, is totally cool. You guys don't have to if you don't want to. And then we have like a guy like Terrence who is pumping in his Chase Blue points here, being on the show, which I appreciate. So I appreciate everybody. So it's just cool. So shout out to everybody. Hopefully we're going to be meeting at the Jets-Patriots game coming up in a couple of weeks. That should be a lot of fun. So I want to make sure I got that note in. The other thing I did want to throw at you, Terrence, so I see this question in here. This is Chance on YouTube. Says the Jets need to stop acting like they don't need Hassan Reddick. Bring him in and get a contract signed, please. I ask you this, Terrence, coming off the game where obviously, again, the Jets did not create much of a pass rush. Now, technically, I have the stat sheet in front of me. They have 3 sacks, but a couple of these sacks that I'm seeing, I remember Brock Purdy either giving himself up or running just short of out of bounds. So I think there's some weird sacks that they're counting in here that I don't remember. Outside of Clemens, I think these other 2 that they're counting for Tony Adams and Sauce Gardner are a little, unless my memory fails me, which is certainly possible because I'm old. But outside of that, we didn't get a lot of juice. So I saw a lot of people on social media saying, okay, it's Hassan Reddick time. He wins. Let's bring him in. What's your take on the Hassan Reddick situation now, knowing the result of the first game of the season?
Well, those, like you said, the 1 sack was okay. The other 2 was at the end.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna talk about. I want to talk about the one I saw that almost was. That's the one that got me, because if this was the sack, it would be a different game. I don't know the name of the player.
Sure,
I just saw the number. It was number 94.
Solomon Thomas.
So
yeah, he had
him.
Brock Purdy. Yeah,
he had him there. You know, and what did he do? He missed the tackle.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So like I said, Super Bowl team, week 1. You know, the Vikings. What's his name? The quarterback there. He
Sam
didn't.
Darnold.
Oh, not the Vikings. I'm sorry. The one that used to be on the Hawks, the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Yes, when he got hurt. See, did they win?
No, they ended up losing to the Steelers. Yeah.
See, so you know, coming back, major injury, up in age. Week one, they still got the Atlanta Falcons being a pretty good team by the end of the season.
They do. People do.
Yeah. So, you know, just week 1, you know, just the hard part though is we got to go through a whole week of we the only team in our division that lost.
That's true. The AFC East is all, for those who did not know, everyone else is 1-0. The Patriots beat the Bengals, the Bills beat the Cardinals, and the Dolphins beat the Jaguars. So yes, we are the only 0-1 team. And again, our game was on, and that was the only game on tonight. No other football game was on tonight. So I just can't wait for week 6. I don't like skipping ahead because I enjoy every game. But boy, just because of my job as a sports talk radio host, I just know a lot of Bills followers that are in my social media circles, and man, the arrogance of, they were just making these like observations about the Jets. Of like, wow, Aaron Rodgers, he's clearly 40 years old. Like, you could see how he moves in the pocket. I'm like, okay. And then they're like making jokes about the defense. Oh, so this is this elite defense everyone's talking about. I'm like, okay. So I'm looking forward to the Jets-Bills game, especially since the success the Jets have had against the Bills. So all those Bills people on social media were tweeting all kinds of noise. I'm like, noted, little... because this may be a different team in week 6, but I did notice a little bit of that. But yes, everyone else is 1-0. We are 0-1. That is a true statement, Terrence.
Boy Green's coming for them Bill fans.
Oh yeah,
but hey,
Bill fans bother me. Yeah, go ahead.
I would treat week 6 like I'm treating my vacation. When I go on vacation, the best part of my vacation is before the vacation. Because before the vacation, you can think of whatever you want to do when the time comes. But then the time comes, you do what you do, it's over, and then that's it.
Yeah, you know? That's a good way to think of it. I like that.
Yeah, so week 6 is on its way, you know, but the best time before that game is now, because, you know, you build up the momentum, and then when week 6 comes, they play, and then when it's over, we'll be sitting here talking about it.
Which, hey, again, bring me to that. Again, I don't want to fast forward because I really enjoyed the season and everything that goes together. And we're getting all kinds of different comments in the chat. We're getting some that are positive, Terrence. J. Val the Don, a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, saying, what's good, Paul? It's all good. Just one game. We'll get back to it next week for sure. No doubt. Others are like, oh, boy, a bunch of losses are coming. So we have both negative and positive Jet fans together here. In the YouTube comment section. Shout out to the 300 people that are in the room right now. Like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. We're also working towards Terrence's membership, or not membership, rather, his emoji. So let's keep rallying those memberships, baby. I know there are dark times right now. It'd be probably a little bit juicier if the Jets would have upset the 49ers. Perhaps we have different vibes right now at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. I guess technically it is now. I understand that. But so what about this Reddick thing? I see Allen again. If I'm Reddick and his agent, I'd be popping champagne all night, celebrating apparently the Jets' lack of a pass rush. Is it time to cave with Hassan Reddick? Is it time to continue to do what we're doing? Say, hey, buddy, here's the door. You could show up whenever you want. What do you do, Terrence, with Hassan Reddick?
I'm not caving right now.
Okay.
Like I said, we played one of the top 2 teams in the league.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see what happens this week.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That game right there, we can separate it because of the quality of the team. Yeah. And hey, all you Clowney fans out there, if the Panthers play like they play, he might be available by the trade deadline too.
That's a good point. Yeah, they just lost one of their best players, Derek Brown, who's likely out for the season, and the Panthers look like dumb. So, yeah, why wouldn't they flip a guy who signed what was
a 1-year deal
yeah,
around the same that we would have? But I guess the tax situation, if you $12 million
in
New York taxes versus $12 million in Carolina taxes, probably made the difference.
Yeah, let me double check here on Clowney. It may have been. Oh, yeah. So he
2
got
years, but it's 12 guaranteed.
Yes, there you go. That's right. Yeah. So we'll see. But either way, that could be viable. Obviously, the Jets were interested. They were doing some serious kicking of the tires on Jadeveon Clowney. So maybe there is an alternative option if things continue to be whatever they are that you want to call it here with this Jets situation. With Reddick. Now, here's the truth. Here's the honest truth. Sure, would Reddick have helped with the pass rush department where they weren't rushing the passer? Absolutely. I can't question that. Would he have solved their run defense issues? I don't know. Pass rush, sure. We needed some more of that. Maybe that would have changed some aspects of the game, but the run defense was busted, broken. I mean, there was just, they weren't getting enough hats in the right areas, and every once in a while they kind of rally and contain Mason to a 1-yard gain or get him at the line of scrimmage, but there wasn't a lot of TFLs from a running perspective to put them in a more difficult position. So that part of the equation was a tough one as well. Again, it's a Shanahan thing. They talked about it a little bit on the broadcast, but they've forever, that goes back to Kyle's father, Mike, that they could get any running back. They could put me or Terrence back there and somehow we get 1,000 yards because their scheme and system and everything that they put together. So Jordan Mason, who got his first start of his NFL career tonight and set a new career high, well, he got his wish. He certainly got his wish there.
And you have a little boy coming, right?
I do, yes, in November. Yeah.
Okay, so a few years from now, you'll be on the court with him. Yeah. Basketball, baseball, whatever. You're gonna teach him everything. And then that day when your son comes to you and say, "Dad, I want to play you because I know I can beat you," and you're gonna look at him and be like, "Yeah." So with Salah coming off that coaching tree, that also kind of factored in.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I'm sure he took extra pride in trying to do it tonight. But again, the San Francisco 49ers certainly deserve their flowers. Did you have, Terrence, on the bingo card, Alan Lazard catching multiple touchdown passes tonight? And by the way, here's this, folks, for those who don't know. Alan Lazard caught more touchdown passes tonight than he did during his entire season in 2023. He caught 1 touchdown pass in 2023. It was a laser beam in the Chiefs game from Zach Wilson. Great throw, great catch. But he has doubled his touchdown total from last season. So I did not have that on the bingo card, but he had that horrible drop early. But the rest of the game was pretty good. What did you make of Alan Lazard?
Well, I kind of would have thought that he would have a pretty good game because of the caliber of a team that we were playing against. And the fact that him and Rodgers have more of a experience together than the other guys. I did. But after he dropped that 3rd down catch, man, that was it. And if you watch the game, I don't think he got another he didn't get another attempt to the second quarter, third quarter?
That's correct. Yeah, it went pretty deep. He was punished, for lack of a better word. He was put in timeout. They're like, all right, we'll go to Garrett Wilson, which, by the way, never a bad option. Go to Garrett Wilson as much as you'd like, as far as I'm concerned. Also, the other guy, he did not show up in the stat sheet. He did appear in the game. I noted it every time he did. Mike Williams got a handful of snaps, but as Lisa Salters revealed in the pregame, they were going to use him, quote-unquote, they used the word sparingly, and certainly that was the case. And Saleh said there's no re-aggravation of any injuries or anything. They're just trying to be incredibly smart with them because they believe that they're going to be playing games in the playoffs for the first time ever. He didn't say that specifically, but like they have the long-term view because they think they're going to be a pretty good team, and thus he will be an important piece down the road for that team. So shout out to Alan Lazard, who led the team in receiving and tied the team lead in receptions. He had 6, just like Garrett Wilson did. He had a 14.8 per clip, the 2 touchdowns, and of course, obviously the beautiful 36-yarder on the broken play that Aaron Rodgers baited the defense on from that perspective, which was really nice. And here's just a little nugget. This one's a really good one. Quinnen Williams is playing some defensive end tonight, and Quinnen revealed that that's something maybe he'll do a little bit more to try to avoid some of the double teams that are constantly thrown his way. So, wow, we've talked about, last year of Michael Clemens playing some more inside, Quinnen playing a little outside, having Quinnen on one side, Jermaine on the other. That's really intriguing for sure. So I like a little bit of that action. We'll see kind of where that goes potentially.
Yeah, moving the players around on defense is something that they'll probably scheme up as time goes on. But there's one.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go.
There's one play when you was talking about Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm.
There was one play that Garrett Wilson had caught the ball, and then he landed, and like 3 defensive linemen piled on him.
Oh yeah.
No, he's been in training camp the whole time. So he's in pretty good shape, even though I was still a little nervous because he's a small guy.
Sure.
But if that was Mike Williams, I would have been really nervous. So for him not to have to go through something like that today, I'm cool. Next week, we'll see if we can get him 2 or 3 attempts.
Yeah, that would be wonderful if we could do that. By the way, speaking of just players maybe in different roles, Braylon Allen, man, not appearing to the end of the game. There was multiple short yardage situations during this contest where, again, I'm a massive Breece Hall fan. We interact with each other on social media. We follow each other. I love Breece Hall as much as any man loves Breece Hall. But boy, on some of these short yardage situations, it just seems that's what you drafted Braylon Allen for, on top of insurance for Breece. And they didn't use him to the end of the game, and he showed the same sorts of chutzpah we saw during the preseason. So Saleh after the game said, yeah, maybe we'll have to get him more involved. Like, it just, that one seemed a little weird to me. It seemed strange that they were just a little too reliant on Breece. And again, Breece is terrific, but a little too reliant on Breece. Here was the running back splits. Breece Hall had 16 carries. The next leading rusher in terms of attempts is tied between Braylon Allen, Tyrod Taylor, and Aaron Rodgers, all with 1. So it was Breece Hall 16 times, and it was Braylon, Tyrod, and Aaron Rodgers all with 1. Like, come on, man. We need, I think balance is key.
Well, remember we had the discussion several days ago where I said on these one-nighters, stars are going to come out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that Breece has to get used to being the touches he had today.
Sure.
And the amount of time he spent on the offensive and on the field on these one-nighters, he's going to have to come through. He's the star. If he wants to get what he wants to get after next season, he has to come through on those one-night games. Now, Braylon Allen, I'm a twist it. I'm a twist it a little bit.
All right.
I can see now Braylon Allen in his hotel room or on the flight, whatever.
Sure.
Probably upset that he didn't get a shot, but he knows next Sunday. Remember I told you several days ago too that the second string is going to be I feel like the second string is going to play a lot of time in this game, right? While the first string played max time in the first game. And then I said, because the games are so tight, that this second game, the second string is going to come in so that when the third game comes and it's at home, the starters are rested.
That makes sense.
So I think Braylon Allen is going to have a lot more minutes this game coming.
Okay. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Again, coming up against the Tennessee Titans. We'll have a Titans Insider on the show on Thursday for Boy Green Meets Woody at 3 o'clock. We'll also try to have a few Titans Insiders on the Boy Green Daily Show. We'll try to do that a little bit later in the week because I'm sure there's more reactions and takes to share because I'll be back on in like 6 hours for Boy Green Daily. So I'm sure we'll have other conversations. I'll wait to see what comes out. Oh, yes. The other thing I wanted to get to is, obviously a couple guys got banged up during the game. CJ Mosley, we had the weird sauce thing, whatever you want to call that. And Michael Carter II, who was out, you're like, oh, boy, this guy just got the bag. Good news from Salah in the post-game presser. Michael Carter could have returned to the game, but they were losing to such a fashion. Tyrod even played at the end of the game where they were losing. They're like, all right, never mind. We'll just we'll play it safe with everybody. So it looks like MC2 is going to be just fine. Thank God. CJ Mosley returned to the game. Sauce ended up returning to the game. So a couple of scares there, but thank God everyone's good to go.
I remember Clemens ran off the field at one point too.
Yeah, apparently, how do I put this politely? I guess it's 1:39 in the morning. He got hit in the dick, is apparently what happened. Yeah. So anyone who's played football, and one time I went to football practice, I'm like, I forgot my cup in the car. I'm like, I'll be fine. First play, roundhouse kick right to the junk. And that one stung like the dickens, and I had to get my balls out of my throat. So that took a while and quite painful. So apparently, I believe, according to the footage and the social media, Michael Clemens looked like he got hit in the kibbles and bits, the ball and chain, the Royal Jewels got a swift kick there. And I do believe he ended up returning to the game. So God bless. Thank you. That Michael Clemens was okay. But that's a good one to note, too. So, yeah, thankfully, they seemingly dodged a bullet on all the guys. And obviously, like I said, the main one, and Alan, I see him, he's in the chat, but Alan was complaining about we were talking too much Aaron Rodgers. I don't think you can in a season like this, but specifically, Aaron Rodgers coming out of this fully healthy, number one, great. And number two, Aaron Rodgers showing chutzpah, showing elite throws. He wasn't Daniel Jones out there. If Aaron Rodgers came looking like this very, very lesser version of himself that couldn't make the same throws, I think we're having a very different tone, a very different conversation right now on this postgame show. The fact that he didn't, I think, changes it a little bit for me. Again, I'm still a little down in the mouth because of how that the Jets lost and how they lost. The 49ers are a great team. So it's not like, again, I didn't predict that the Jets were going to blow out the 49ers 45-0. The 49ers are a really good team, but the way that the Jets lost was a little bit demoralizing, but I think that they can certainly improve. I don't think it's the end of the road there.
Yeah, and just to go back to the Clemens thing, I think if that's the case, if that's what happened to Clemens, then I believe that 100% of all men on the entire planet would have ran off just like he did.
Damn straight. Damn straight. That's, again, for anyone who has experienced it, you know exactly the waddle he was doing to the sideline as he was sucking for sweet wind and oxygen, as we all were. And there's really nothing you could do, right? If you're in a MMA fight, they give you 5 minutes to put that together, but, it's never enough time. By the way, jump over to a comment here. James Woody is in here. Woody, rocking everywhere. He's awake here right before 2 a.m. in the morning, and he's got children. Woody says, way too much negativity. It's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I could see in the comments. It's very hard to miss. Are really like, damn, really attacking the Jets. And again, I think there could be a fair balance here. That we're all not just hunky-dory and everything's great. I'm all for a balanced approach. But I do believe that there is more. The Jets were, let me put it this way. The Jets were supposed to lose. They were a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 point underdog, depending on the book you were looking at. The 49ers have been to the NFC Championship game in 4 of the last 5 years. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. Like, you put all that math together, the 49ers were supposed to win. But again, I don't want a complacency of like, oh, well, we lost. Who cares? Like, I don't like that we lost. I am a competitive guy. I hate losing. I almost hate losing more than I love winning. I hate losing. It's an infectious disease as far as I'm concerned, and I don't like losing, and I don't like losing spreading around. But yeah, I do believe that if I had to kind of temperature check, we got a turkey in the comment section. I'm shoving my thermometer in there. It does seem like the negativity is slightly higher than maybe it should be. But hey, I won't tell you guys how to be fans. You guys can be fans however you see fit.
Well, the one thing that I noticed
Sure.
I've been watching all of you guys for at least before last season started.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I came on so late was because I wanted to feel the chat rooms.
Yes.
See how they were feeling.
I like that. Yeah.
And what I saw was a whole lot of negativity. I mean, like all over the place, all over.
Yeah.
And I feel like until the game started, the positivity went up a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think I came on and with and tried to motivate the fans and made them believe into something, but we lost. So everybody's upset.
Yeah.
And what cures that?
Winning.
Next Sunday. This Sunday coming.
Which I see from Woody, right? So, like Woody says this, if the Jets would have played the Titans tonight as opposed to the 49ers, they win by 2+ scores. And I believe that's 100% true. The Tennessee team looked terrible against the Chicago Bears. And they were winning for a while, 17-0. They completely blew it at the end. And Will Levis, a very young quarterback in his second year, was having a lot of turnover issues, which, again, the Jets weren't able to create turnovers tonight. That feeds Aaron Rodgers. You're giving him short fields to work with and things of that nature. So I do believe we're overreacting to the fact that it's week 1. And Aaron Rodgers said it before the game started. If we win, we're going to the Super Bowl. If we lose, it's the same old Jets. And that's how people are interacting and reacting. But nonetheless, I do appreciate the conversation. I'm glad that people were awake enough at 1:45 in the morning to be doing a post-game show here. Shout out to the 400 people that are awake still right now as they're watching us. I saw Jake was on as well. I don't know if he was still on when we came on, but shout out to Jake, who was also at his T-Squared social event as well. So yeah, this has been eventful. I wish it would have been a win. I enjoyed, seeing Aaron Rodgers healthy. I enjoyed individual aspects. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall had a couple of moments, but not in totality. A great night for him. But there was again breadcrumbs. I look at. I'm like, okay, there are things to build on here. There are things to take away, and hopefully things to address. Like I said, that run defense would be namely one of the top things on my list, obviously. But Saleh believes he's going to be able to fix it. Well, we will find out very soon because there are going to be other teams that can run the ball very well, and the Jets will have those challenges coming up. Terrence, you're about to go on a vacation trip to Cabo in a couple of hours. So any final thoughts and Jet conversation, I imagine? I don't know how many times you'll be calling in from the sweet beaches of Cabo. So please share your final couple of Jets takes here or thoughts.
Yes. For one thing, Woody, you started your sentence with if the Titans would have played tonight, would have won by 2. Change that if to when we play the Titans, we'll win by 2. That's how you boost that positive, my friend.
Love that.
And guys, the positive energy changes everything. Stay positive. One game out of 16. The only thing that happened today was the 1970 whatever Dolphins
1972. Yeah, that's right.
That's the only thing. Other than that, it's same old. You know what I mean? So, but yes, I'm flying into Cabo. My best friend's turning 50. We're gonna have a good time. And yes, I'll be on my phone. And if I can get the timing right, and I'm doing nothing, like relaxing nothing.
Sure,
yes,
right.
Yes, I will come on.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
out, yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
I had my own. I wanted to start my own
podcast
back in 2021. So I was doing it with my friends, and they all withered away. So the universe brought me to the True Jets family. And I'm ready.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you, my friend. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And Jet fans, just keep the heads up. We did good. Watch. When you see the 49ers beating other teams by 4 or 5 scores, you're gonna say, man, the Jets did pretty good.
Yeah.
Watch. Watch.
I love it. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Again, I will be back live in, 5 hours for Fort Green Daily, which will be a lot of fun. So, guys, tune in for that. I'll be on at 7:30 in the morning in a couple of hours, depending on when you're listening to this. And we'll give you some more takes and interactions and things. There's some more player sound and others that we'll kind of dive into moving forward. And then quickly turn the page. We don't have a lot of time to think about it, which maybe is good and bad. for the Tennessee Titans game that's coming up, and we'll have full coverage for that. Terrence, enjoy your trip to Cabo, my friend. That's going to be awesome. Enjoy all of it, and thanks for serving as co-host here. Not too shabby.
Thank you. My first vacation in 4 years.
Okay, well, long overdue then, my friend, and we appreciate you. So thanks, brother.
All right, guys, take care. Have a good night, and let's go Jets.
Damn
not done yet, guys.
Definitely not done yet. Shout out to Terrence, who's going on his trip. Safe travels to Terrence. And thank you, everybody, like I said, for tuning in live. Again, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. I'm going to take a quick power nap, basically, and then I will be back on for Boy Green Daily in a couple of hours. Like I said, like the video, hit subscribe. Feel free to join the Boy Green Coffee Club if you see fit to support the show, which is in the YouTube description down below. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click. And you can become a member and get Terrence a little bit closer to his emoji. We try to, for some of our loyal and most interactive callers and listeners, we try to immortalize them in emoji form. Like I said, we have several. I'll throw a couple at you here as we're heading off the show. FL Phil 98, Philium, who reads some Jets poems on the show. My mother, who's gotten into powerlifting. Hep, for all his wonderful Hep songs. Ricky, New York, and his Wi-Fi. Easy OC, Uncle Tio, Badshaw. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of all kinds of callers that have joined us. But we'll end it there with a final Hep song for Boy Green Daily. God bless everybody, and we'll see you in a couple hours. Take care.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. You're talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets.